This is Peninsula, a map designed by my good friend Colonel Failure. It's big, it's beautiful, and it is brutal. Can I conquer the crags, vanquish the valleys, and pound the peninsula into submission? This video is brought to you by me and my official merch store, where you can now pick up a whole range of new items with my brand new logo. Check out the link in the video description. Hey guys, and welcome to Peninsula. For this build, I want to have a primary freight yard where all the freight from the whole map passes through. So it doesn't matter where it's produced or where it's going to, it's gonna pass through this freight yard, and it's gonna be big and it's gonna be beautiful. And I've decided that I want to have it here. Now this presents a few challenges on this map. First of all, there's going to be some leveling out required. And the other thing is, whilst the terrain in front is not too bad, the terrain behind is actually a little bit uninspiring. So what I want to do is raise this up significantly and build a mountain landscape behind to act as a backdrop to it. So how about we get started? So the first thing I had to do was level off a nice big area for my freight yard, but also significantly raise the height of the terrain in this back corner of the map so that I could build a mountain range on top of it. It's I mean, it's a huge difference in terrain height, and it took a while. This entire build took around 15, between 15 and 20 hours to get fully completed, and I gotta say, it turned out pretty beautiful, as you will see. And as you will see in about 10 minutes, I've condensed that like 15 to 20 hours down into 10 minutes or so for you. And it's pretty enjoyable. So what I did was I threw in some stations, and then just started to kind of organically throw things together. So you know, just letting it flow, building roads and just throwing in kind of pretty much whatever I had in mind. Like at that moment, this wasn't like a pre-planned build. This wasn't something that I kind of planned out in detail beforehand. I wanted it to be, generally speaking, I like my builds to be organic in feel as much as possible. So yeah, this was one where I just went with the flow. I mean, there are often times when I'll sit down kind of before I start, and I'll pretty much plan out, and I'll try some different ideas. But with this one, I was just like, just go for it, just go for it. And yeah, it could have been a complete disaster. It turned out actually to be even better than I could possibly have hoped. And what I love about it is that it's got a really expansive feel to it, and it ends up feeling like really busy, which I love. And I tell you what, when this has got all of the lines eventually running through it, man, this is going to be a busy station. This is going to be seriously busy. In fact, I am fully expecting by the end of the whole build that I'm going to have some major traffic problems to sort out here with so many trains going in and out and such a complex track layout. It should be huge amounts of fun actually to play around with as the series develops. Now, if you're new to this, if this is the first time that you've seen Peninsula, this is a series that I'm streaming. So all of the builds that you see, or the vast majority of the build that you see, has been done during a live stream. And yeah, if you want to catch those live streams, then just subscribe to the channel, and you'll get the notifications when I'm streaming, which is most nights these days. And then you can join in the fun and watch my agony, because I'm like, watching this time lapse all looks pretty darned easy. Obviously just went in beautifully. No. The first part of this was a 5-hour stream, about 5.5 hours, 5.25 hours. And oh man, yeah, there were some agonizing bits, but yeah, if you want to see that for yourself, come along to one of the streams. Now, if you want to try this map out yourself, you can get it on the Steam Workshop. It's called Colonel Failure's Peninsula map. And I've got to give a big shout out to the Colonel, a fellow YouTuber. If you haven't seen his Peninsula series, I'd really suggest checking it out. It's a lot of fun. He does some really creative things with the map, and it was watching that series that inspired me to give the map a go for myself and see what I could do with it. And I'm so pleased that I did, because so far I've built about 3 pieces so far at the time of putting this video out. And so far, it's one of the best builds that I've ever done. And I think by the end of this series, this might end up being my best Transport Fever build ever. And like, I love some of my previous builds, so that's really saying something. That's really saying something coming from me. Right, so this is starting to kind of sort of come together now. One of the things with the freight yard is you need a lot of tracks. Like, if you're going to make it look good, you need a lot of tracks. It needs to feel busy. It needs to feel big and like have just lots and lots and lots of tracks all over the place. And as you can see, we are starting to get towards that kind of feel. Especially as I start to do kind of these end pieces, because that's where, like in the middle, it's just like a row of tracks pretty much. Okay, you can put in switches and crossovers and whatever, but really it's when you start to connect the ends up to the main lines that's where you get that kind of big feel from. And I was just like, at this point, I was just loving how it felt, and just kind of kept expanding it. Until it got up to a size that I felt comfortable with, in terms of like, does this feel big enough to be like my main freight depot for the entire map? And yeah, the answer is yeah. Yeah, it's definitely big enough by the time I finish this. So once you've kind of laid out your main lines, which I pretty much have, then it's time to start the decorating, and it's a process that I love. I find it very relaxing and cathartic. I love using all the different textures. The game provides you with so many great tools. Like, if you really want to dress an area up, oh man, Transport Fever 2 gives you the tools to do it. All the different terrain textures, all the paint tools, and then you've got all of the lovely foliage that you can add to it, and the trees. Adding the trees to it, trees and bushes and whatever. That's the point. When you start doing that, that's the point when a map starts to come to life for me. And then once you've done that, then you can get down into the nitty gritty. You can start putting in all the little bits and pieces, all the track assets, all of the goods that are lying around, extra vehicles. You'll notice at the back that I've left an area. I just put a few depots in to mark off an area. That's going to be an industrial area. It's also where the fuel refineries are going to be for the map. But you'll see that when it's all complete. Right, we are coming up towards the end of the time lapse here. It's going to be time to take a look at how this turned out. You ready for it? Okay, now you might be looking at this and thinking, "Oh, that's a long one," and you'd be quite right, because we're riding on the Charles Vane, and we are approaching the city of Hamilton and the Hamilton Freight Yard. And look at that backdrop. As we get a little bit closer, you'll see the mountains coming into view. Look. That's the original kind of mountains that I said were kind of okay. And that is the backdrop that I've created. Look at that mountain range. And the distance, I feel the distance is just kind of right. Looks like misty mountains. I think we're going to call those the Misty Mountains. And the combination of the Misty Mountains and the that red Tokyo Tower, I think just looks just terrific. And here we come into the main yard. Now that area out back, there's a round the corner, there's an oil refinery. And then this is the fuel refinery. Now the oil refinery, that's going to be a separate build. That'll be, I think that'll be the third video that comes out. This is the first one. The second one's going to be Crystal Cove, which is way, way at the other corner of the map. And this is the freight yard with built-in oil refinery. And that's so this is the area that I said was the little industrial area that I kind of marked off, and I decided to kind of expand that out into the fuel refineries as well. And then this train comes into this yard, and you can see how busy the yard is. I mean, it has the feel of being busy. Right now, there's only this one set of trains that are running through it, but yeah. It still has the feeling of lots going on. Well, that was what I was going for anyway. And it will be busy. And when it gets really busy, I'll show it to you again. There is going to be a ride along on this particular train. This is the train that goes. Well, it comes from Crystal Cove, where it picks up crude oil, and then it comes through the refinery, which is going to be so Crystal Cove will be episode 2. The refiner will be episode 3, and then there'll be a ride-along video where we ride this train the whole journey, and it's a pretty impressive journey. Let me tell you, you're not going to want to miss that. So what it does is it comes into here. We've got 4 stations in here. We've got south, which is down by the fuel refineries. North is closest to the city. Central's in the middle, and then west is that little station on the left, on the top left. And the train comes in and it drops off refined oil that it's picked up from the refinery, and then it drops that oil off to the fuel refinery, where it's converted into fuel. Then it picks up that fuel and it brings it round to the central freight yard, or the freight station. And it then goes out to Hamilton Sidings, which is a little, well, it's not little actually, it's quite a big truck depot. You can see it just there. There it is, Hamilton Sidings. And from there, the fuel gets shipped off by truck into the city. And here we are, just pulling it out. Wow! Look at the size of that. That's what she said. But it's I love it. I think it's a pretty impressive freight yard, and the combination of the oil refineries and the industrial area on one side, and the city on the other side with the mountains as the backdrop. Wow, it's just awesome. It's just awesome. I absolutely love it. Now I've got one set of tracks which is electrified with catenaries, and the rest of it is all going to be like diesels and diesel shunting. At least that's my plan at the moment. I've got a sneaking suspicion that kind of as I develop this, there's going to be changes just to deal with the sheer volume of vehicles that are going to be coming in and out of this. So the train's off to Crystal Cove, which is like way over there, like way over the opposite corner of the map from here, and the oil refinery's over there, which I'm not going to show you. I'm going to hide that quickly. Yeah, you'll have to, if you want to see that, you'll have to come back. You'll have to come back to see that. But yeah, I'd like. This has been a labour of love. I've really enjoyed this build. I kind of got a bit carried away with it because yeah, it's one of those things that you start to build things, and then things just take over. I love the combination of this, because this is all the industrial part of the city. This is all the industrial buildings, and having that on one side of the station, and then the oil refineries on the other side give the whole place this kind of nitty gritty industrial feel. And we all like a bit of nitty gritty. Come on, you know you do. I do. Picture Perfect does, that's for sure. Yeah, and then I just got carried away with like putting all the little bits and pieces in, and I tried to go with the ethos that like less is more. You know, I put in like these containers and just the odd little vehicle here and there, and you know, adding a bush here and a tree there, and a few more vehicles, a few more containers, just little odd bits and pieces, just just an odd little truck parked somewhere, or a pile of logs awaiting collection. And I think once I get a few trucks driving around and a few trains coming in and out, oh man, this place is going to have a life of its own. But as you can see, I think it's pretty big and impressive. It's kind of like Charles Vane in that regard, and I shall leave it at that. But there you go. This is the city. The city is building up quite nicely because it's being supplied with fuel, and therefore it is growing. Eventually, it'll fill out, and I think it'll fill out like all of this area, like on its own. If it doesn't, then I might add another town or two, like just tiny little towns, just to create kind of suburbs. Because this is the heart. This is the heart of Peninsula, the beating heart of industry. Everything is going to flow through here. Everything is going to link into here. So it's really important, like for all the train journeys and everything, that that this looks and feels good and big and impressive and looks great. It should be exciting every time you come here. Yeah, I was getting a little carried away there. And then, and yeah, I've still got a lot of work to do on this. I think this area here is fine. I think this is worked out really nice, but still a lot of work to do. Like on the highway, I've got the highway going around the outside. I need to put in a couple of junctions, intersections, one on each side of the city. I want to do those differently and develop the whole road network. So going around here, there'll be one here, and then one on the other side, like over there. Now, on that far side, I've got an idea to put a dam in and a lake over there. We'll see. I've played around with it. It might be possible. It might just be possible. It's and if you can make it, if you can get it right, it looks fabulous. So the dam, that's potentially coming up. So I think the best way to leave this is with a train's eye view of the yard, final train's eye view of the yard. Give you a chance to see those little details that maybe you missed the first time around. I've been riding around this repeatedly, and I've been like, oh, that needs a little bit there. Oh, that terrain needs just like a little cleanup over there, or oh, I need to put some bushes in there, or I need a little bit of interest, or whatever. That's how that tower ended up getting put in, because I was riding around. It was like the place was really flat, so I put that in. Well, there you go. That's it. That is my Hamilton freight yard. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you'll come along to one of the streams. I hope you'll check out the merchandise store. That's it for now. I'll catch you for the next one. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Peace out.